Hello everyone, today we'll be going over some of the items that you can obtain from using the Cram-O-Matic machine that you find in the Isle of Armor expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield. First of all, though, I should say there's a lot of items that we don't really know the recipe for yet, and they'll be added later. I'll put them in the description, and if you find out something that isn't, in the video here, you're also free to put them down in the comment section so that, we can help each other out. Also, multiple of the items actually have multiple recipes that you can use, and I'm only going to be covering one recipe for each of the items. Basically, I'm taking the one that I found was, the easier one to use. I put the items we'll be covering today over in 3 categories. We have evolution items, battle items, and other useful items. So I think we should actually just jump straight into the battle items. I should say before we go any further that some of the recipes are dependent on the order of which you put in the item, so I'm kind of keeping the order of the ones that I tried. I haven't really experimented too much, so just as an FYI so you're all aware of it. First off, we have the very elusive Flame Orb. Everyone who's hunted it in Sword and Shield knows how painful this thing is. Luckily now it's quite easy to get. You basically just put 4 Firestones into this and bam, you got yourself a brand new Flame Orb. Next up is the Life Orb. This one's also quite easy. You basically just put 1 Dynamax candy in, followed by 3 wishing pieces. Next up is the Eviolite, useful for Pokemon that aren't fully evolved, such as Porygon 2, which, we're all excited for Porygon 2. This one is obtained by throwing in a Floatstone, followed by a Charcoal, a Ball Mushroom, and then lastly a PP-Up. The Light Ball, which is useful for Pikachu and also for some other recipes that you can make here, is made by throwing in a Thunderstone first, followed by 3 wishing pieces. The Room Service, which is a bit of a gimmicky item that you can use, obviously to make your Pokemon slower in Trick Room and also to use for other recipes, is made by throwing in a Berry Sweet, followed by a Metal Coat, a Roselli Berry, and lastly Silver Powder. Next up is the Rocky Helmet, which is quite simple. It's basically just 4 Everstones that you throw in to our Rocky Helmet, and if you're running low on Everstones, you can get them by going to the old wild area close to the breeding thing where you have the digging duo, and they can actually dig up quite a few Everstones for you. Next up I have the Scoblins, which right now mostly useful for things like Inteleon, but it's also quite simple. Basically you take a black Apricorn and you just follow up with 3 wishing pieces. Next up is the Blunder Policy, and you get this by putting in a Pretty Feather followed by a Flower Sweet, a Quick Claw, and the Rose Incense. Next up is the Expert Bell, which you get by throwing in a Focus Sash followed by the new Amorite Orbs, a Destiny Knot, and the Room Service item. That was some of the more useful held items. There is a recipe for the Assault Vest. I haven't tried it because I did not actually have enough of the ingredients that you need, but basically it's a Mako Berry followed by 3 Metronomes. Haven't tested it, not fully sure if it works, but it's a potential. Other things like the choice items we don't know anything about. We don't know anything about the safe goggles or the heavy duty boots, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But next I think we should just jump straight into the evolution items that you can get. So starting out on the fun end, we have the upgrade so you can evolve your Porygon into a Porygon 2. And this you get by throwing in 2 Pecha Berries followed by 2 PP-Ups. After the upgrade, you obviously want the Dubious Disc so you can get your Porygon 2 into Porygon C. And this one you get by using a Light Ball followed by 3 wishing pieces. The Dragon Scale you can get by throwing in basically just 4 Dragon Fangs. And if you're liking Dragon Fangs, there is also multiple recipes to make more of those. And those are down in the aforementioned Google Sheets down in the description, in case you need more of them. Getting your Feebas evolved into Milotic can be quite a pricey deal, because the Prism Scale is made by putting in a Pearl String, followed by a Nugget, some Stardust, and lastly also a Star Piece. The Protector, which is used to evolve your Rhydon into a Rhyperior, you can get by throwing in a Star Piece, followed by a Soft Sand, a Power Up, and lastly a Big Pearl. The last evolution item that I currently have here, because we don't know about the King's Rock yet, is the Ovalstone, and you get that by throwing in a Wiki Berry followed by 3 Pomic Berries. Next up we go into some other useful items, and here we're starting out with a Gold Bottle Cap. A Gold Bottle Cap you obtain by throwing in 4 regular Bottle Caps. Next up we have PP-Ups. You can actually get PP-Ups pretty easily if you do raids, because you basically just need 4 Amorites and got yourself a PP-Up. Next up is the Ability Capsule. This thing you get by throwing in 4 rare candies, nice and simple, and you got yourself a nice little Ability Capsule. Other useful items that I haven't tested is bottle caps, which should be 4 big nuggets. I didn't have 4 big nuggets because I spent them all on clothes, so I haven't tested that. Things that we don't know is the PP Max. We don't know anything about the recipe for that currently. We don't know if you can get mints from this, so we kind of have to wait and see for that. Obviously there's other items that you can get through the Cram-O-Matic that I haven't mentioned, such as you can get boosting items as Dragon Fang, Heart Stones, the like, Mystic Water. That was the 3 that I could remember top of my head. You can get TRs, and you can get incenses, and you can get like things that has monetary value, like common shards, bomb mushrooms, big nuggets, all that. Haven't covered that. They will be down in the description in the big Google spreadsheet. And you can also share them, as I said, down in the comments if you figure out, you know, recipes for some nice items. As for the apricot balls, instead of being, you know, nice and thoughtful and putting in something like Kurt's granddaughter who would take a certain number of apricots and give you the ball, that's not what happens. Basically, if you throw 4 apricots into this thing, you get some kind of ball, but you have no control over really what it is. It doesn't seem like it seems to be very random, and I tried like around 10 times and I have not got one of the rare balls yet, so that's a little sad. So that part sucks, but you can get some pretty useful items out of it, so that's at least somewhat exciting. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, keep it cool. Bye.